Everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back. We're doing a best of 3 Zendikar Rising draft. And what do we got here? Let's see. So we have Relic Robber, which is kind of a pretty good aggressive card. It can definitely win you games if you can get in with it. It doesn't take too many attacks, just a couple attacks, and you can take a game over with it. Otherwise, we have a Tended Healer, good for the Cleric decks, or any decks that gain a bunch of life. Tangled Florahedron, awesome playable spell land. Vastwood Surge, good for those decks as well. Malachor Blood Priest, good for party decks. Bug Catcher, good for party. I suppose Relic Robber is fine in a red-white Warriors deck as well as a party deck, so I'm okay taking it. It's a rare, and we're not really giving up anything too crazy for it. Basically, the only requirement for this is a more aggressive deck, which I'm okay with trying to draft here. Alright, follow-up pick. Well, plenty of stuff in red, so we'll probably follow up with a red pick. The strongest card is Merfolk Falconer. There is Songmad Treachery, though, which I'm fine taking here. It's a spell land, and it can definitely win games. It's kind of good with Relic Robber, too. Maybe let you get an opportunity to get an attack in. And it's just a free spell in the deck. Otherwise, Champion is going to be good for a Warrior deck. Night Runner would be another red rogue, which is kind of weird. Goblin Rogue deck there. Treachery certainly weaker than Falconer, but I think a fine follow-up to Relic Robber if we want to kind of stick to the same game plan, which I do. So we'll take the Treachery. So now in red there's just Molten Blast, so I think we got to look at something else. I'm fine taking the Legion Angel here. Red-White Warriors is happy to have Legion Angel. It's a very strong card, 4 mana, 4/3 flyer. And getting it third pick is kind of a good sign, I would think. I don't exactly know what I would take over Legion Angel. I mean, I would take this over removal just because 4 mana, 4 power flying, it's good. So we'll take it. Alright, another chance to get Red Rogue. I'm fine with that. Otherwise, we're seeing some blue stuff in here. Some green stuff, but not much else. Night Runner's playable. Perfectly fine card. Getting 2 rogues is a little bit awkward if we're trying to do a warrior deck, but might just end up red-white party, which I'm okay with too. Alright, Relic Axe, going to be really good if we can end up in a warrior-focused build, but even sticking that on a Relic Robber is pretty good. 5th pick Bubble Snare is kind of nice too. But yeah, we'll take the Axe. It's going to be, I mean, if we do in fact end up red-white, we're going to be pretty happy to have it, because I assume we're going to find some warriors. Alright, so Outrider, good for the party plan, but so is Practice Tactics. And Cliffhaven Kitesail is going to be good with the Relic Robber, and the Night Runner for that matter. I think we want to take the Tactics. I think we're likely to get... I mean, if we end up straight warriors, it's not going to be as good. It's just going to be a 1 mana, 2 damage to an attacker or blocker. That's true. But there's still a chance we end up party. I think we'll just go with the removal. So now we have a choice between the Outrider, the Banneret, or the Scorch Rider. So Banneret gives us something to do early. I think it's... We could also take the Inordinate Rage. We do already have 3 creatures. Inordinate Rage is going to work well to Robber to at least give us a little combat trick that can deal extra damage. I mean, I like Inordinate Rage more than Practice Tactics in a warrior deck. There are 3 warriors, though. The 4-drop warriors are less exciting. I think we'll go Banneret. I think it makes the most sense with the Night Runner and the Relic Robber. Alright, Blade Master is a great pickup for us here. There's McKindy Stampede, which I would also play and is good. But Relic Axe, Blade Master, great synergy. That alone is good. So it kind of looks like, yeah, we're going to be playing more of a warrior build. So we could actually take the Pack Beast here. It's still a warrior, but it makes our practice tactics better. Or we could probably just take the Fissure Wizard. It still works with practice tactics. We don't necessarily need a second Banneret. And this can let us loot, which is good if you're getting flooded. Yeah, and that makes our tactics better. It also makes future... Well, now I kind of want to take the champion over the sellsword. I was going to say it makes future, like, party cards better. But yeah, champion 10th pick is a good sign for warriors. Here I'm just going to take the Ox. It's a playable card. It's not really what we want. Just because if we're going to be party or warriors, we want to kind of stick to class-oriented cards. Cut the white card here. But I think we're in good shape, pack 1, for an aggressive deck. Take a Disenchant. We're in best of 3, so somebody's getting a last pick. Skyclave's in. Oh, we got a last pick Outrider. That's a gift, actually. That's really good. Master of Winds is pretty strong, but not for us. Probably take the Vanguard. It's a really great beatdown card. I think there's still a pretty good chance we end up primarily warriors, but Shepherd of Heroes is obviously good too, and Ambusher is more playable than I originally gave it credit for. Vanguard, I think, slightly worse in more of a party deck, but I think there's actually a good chance where we end up primarily warriors. Maybe not, based on this pack. I guess we could take another Banneret. Removal-wise, we've pretty much just got a Tactics right now. Alright, maybe we need this Molten Blast then. At worst, I can sideboard into it. We already have a Disenchant. I think Banneret is perfectly fine, but it's not at its best in a warrior deck, believe it or not. I think it's probably best for, like, Clerics, a deck that can stall out, gain a bunch of life, give you a bunch of little dudes. So there's Skyclave Cleric in here, which makes this tactics better. Geopede, which is an excellent beater, but I think we probably go for the champion. It wears the Relic Axe, synergizes with Vanguard, synergizes with Blade Master. I think it just makes the most sense. I think Geopede is a stronger beater overall, but given what our deck is trying to do, we probably just go with the champion. I'm hoping to wheel that Inordinate Rage. I think there's a chance, but we'll see if it happens. This pack is a bit of a miss. We don't actually have any Clerics for the Relic Vial. Otherwise, I'd kind of like it. Core Celebrant doesn't make a ton of sense to me if we're playing Beatdown. I could take it as a sideboard card. It's probably good in an aggro mirror match. I'd probably like it there. Otherwise, I'm not playing the Hellhound, and certainly not playing Relic Vial if I've got one Cleric. I don't think that's going to be good enough. But we'll take it. It's a sideboard option. I can play it if I have to. Now is Resolute Strike versus Skyclave Cleric. Cleric makes our Outrider better. Tactics better. If I take Resolute Strike, however, I get a cheap combat trick, which is nice. Can move a Relic Axe, which is also nice. We do need 5 more creatures, but I think I'm actually going to Resolute Strike. I think these cheap combat tricks are actually a very important card for these aggro decks. You need to be able to make a lot of plays. So now there's Scavenge Blade, which is good with the Blade Master, but I think I want the Sellsword. The more 2-drop warriors you can get for an aggro deck, the better off you're going to be, I think. I wouldn't mind the Blade either, to be honest. Well, another Relic Axe is a big pickup for us. Really good. That's really going to help us a lot. Wow, 3? You know, there's nothing else here I really want. I think I'm going to go 3 axes, as crazy as that sounds. So now I definitely really feel like we need... Resolute Strike just got way better. It's like 1 mana potentially +4, +3. Which is good. We're going to take Healer in case I need it. It does help our party cards, although at this point, I'd really like to stick to warriors with triple relic axe blade master. We'll see if we get that luxury. We got the banneret back. It's a lot of playable green cards in there. I'll cut the white card. So basically, no, Smite's a playable sideboard card. I don't want to play the Molten Blast if I don't have to. I don't really want to play... We might end up playing some creatures that I don't want to play, just because not a ton of options, but at this point, I think we have the tools to make a really nice aggro Warriors deck, so we'll let somebody... I think this Ravager's Mace is... There's less decks that want it, so we'll give the... We got a last pick. We've been getting these last pick on color cards. Construct's sweet. I think we're taking this War Leader, though. I never get to draft this card, and it's definitely good based on what we already have. We certainly could use some more tools. It's unfortunate there's a Spikefield Hazard in here, too. And Construct's playable everywhere, but War Leader, I think, is quite good. So, we can take Pack Beast, but we may just want another champion. What's our warrior count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10's good. We'll take the champion. 3 mana 4/3s are what we're looking for. Hope to wield the ambusher, but I think champion is going to be quite strong. Journey to Oblivion is good, but Bug Catcher probably what we're looking for. I guess we don't really have a ton of removal, and we have enough creatures, so maybe we do just take the Journey so we can deal with everything. The fact that we don't have much removal kind of makes Journey the pick, unfortunately, because I want the Bug Catcher, actually, but because I want to upgrade some of our creatures as well. All right, here we can easily take a Sellsword, and it's actually good for us. Can get in on turn 3 for 5 damage, which is quite good. So now we're looking to upgrade our non-warriors. Like, I'm happy to find upgrades for Expedition Healer. Well, Nahiri's Binding is good removal too. We got to take that. Another Vanguard. Well, I'm going to take Vanguard over the second Nahiri's Binding. This card is really strong. I don't even know if I've ever had multiples of it, but it's really strong. And it can... I mean, it just turns off blockers, which is exactly what your aggro deck wants. Wow, another Blade Master. That is really nice with 3 axes. We're looking pretty strong now. Now we can easily get rid of like Expedition Healer, probably Fissure Wizard, probably Night Runner. Wow. I'll take another Binding, I think, over the Sellsword. Because then I can get rid of Tactics, which I don't really want either. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting another Warrior here, but I think Binding's going to be good. Wow, we got the Hazard back. That's nice. I mean, we ended up in the right deck, so that's the good news. There's really not any bad news for this deck that I can see. Everything is pretty good. We ended up with enough removal. Probably have enough Warriors now. Got the Bug Catcher back. That's definitely making the deck. Even as just a 2-mana 2/2 Trampler, when you have Relic Axes in your deck, it gets much better. Take a second Celebrant, actually. That's fine. So, yeah, I like this deck a lot. This is sweet. This is a nice looking Warriors build. Cut the lands for now. We can count Treachery and Spikefield Hazard as lands. So we can probably get away with 17, including these. Which means 13, 14. We only need to make 2 cuts, and they can be creatures. Kind of okay with cutting our non-warriors, so well, except the Relic Robber. So we can cut the Night Runner. And then we're actually left with all warriors other than Relic Robber, so we can cut something. Probably an Outrider, since we're primarily warriors. Cuts the curve down too. This is kind of a 4-drop in our deck. Yeah, this looks good to me. Really, not much to say. This is kind of where you want to be. We have enough removal. We have a Resolute Strike. We've got the equipment. We have enough creatures. We've got the Powerhouse Blade Master and Vanguards. We have the Lord. We've got a random Relic Robber, which maybe gets in every once in a while. Random Outrider. Legion Angel's a good rare. Journey for removal. So Bindings, Journey, Resolute Strike. Enough removal. Can steal stuff. I like it. Cool. So 1 double white. No, 3 double white, no double red. So we're doing extra. We still need red on turn 2, but we're going to do the extra white mana. So this, and then 6 red. And I think we can call her a deck after that. Yeah, cool deck. Turned out good. All right, we'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1. All right, we're in round 1. We've got a 1-lander here, so I think we're going to mulligan. It's not really what I want, but we'll keep it, and we'll ditch a plains. All right, that's cool. See if it gets subtle struck. Or vanquished. It's pretty good too. All right, we'll do the champion first. Not the best use of mana. And in fact, if I did Outrider here, yeah, I guess we actually do Outrider, oddly enough. Because if we do Outrider, then next turn we can go Champion Relic Axe. And I think it actually adds up to more damage. I guess we might as well. That way it gets around Vanquish the Weak. Well, the nice thing is with Relic Axes, all of our creatures are pretty good threats. Jerboa is kind of a weird one. I don't really want to hear he's binding a 1-2, because I feel like we can beat that. Really, we're just waiting for them to drop a fatty so we can steal it, or binding it, or both. I think I can take 1 to 2 damage a turn for a little while here. Well, I suppose with multiple removal spells, I'll do the Journey. And the reason I'm doing Journey instead of Binding is it's more mana, but more importantly, Binding doesn't stop Canyon Jerboa's landfall ability, so I guess Nahiri's Binding doesn't really either. I could Treachery that. Am I sandbagging lands for any reason? I don't really see a reason to sandbag lands other than deception. So we're either binding it or treacherying it. I guess we binding. And might as well play around the Mind Drain. So guess we just pass. So I'm trying to think what I want to do for next game. I guess I want to bring in more creatures probably, because they're looking like they're a pretty removal heavy deck. I don't really have any protection either. So we'll go to game 2. And I think what we're going to do is bring in more creatures. And maybe cut some removal. I don't love cutting removal, to be honest, but they just seem so primarily removal focused. That's not true, though. I mean, I have to keep in mind I had to mulligan and we had a land heavy hand and we didn't have a quick start. Like, those are all very significant factors. I could cut a axe for another creature. I'm kind of okay with that. Like, maybe just bring another outrider in. Another warrior. Another body. It makes our Blade Master slightly worse, but with the amount of removal I have, I'm not even sure that's going to matter. So then we're up to 17 creatures. That's a good count. Otherwise, I could do another wizard to make our outriders better. But I feel like the 2 axes are kind of important. I could cut the Resolute Strike because they're kind of a liability with the instant speed removal. That's true. Binding's not great against like Makindi Ox and Canyon Jerboa. And here's Binding is actually kind of cool because you can enchant a land with Nissa's Zendikar and they can't activate the mana ability. It's actually kind of cool. I haven't seen that before. Beyond cutting the Resolute Strike and bringing in like a Fissure Wizard, this way it kind of offsets getting flooded a little bit. And with the spot removal we have, hopefully we won't need the Resolute Strike. So we'll play first. It's a good hand. I don't really want to trade my Vanguard for a Sellsword. I think we'll just do the champion here. Alright, that's fine. Alright, cool. That actually works really well. So now we can go Banneret, Warlord, or War Leader rather. Get in. Sellsword can't block. Alright, so now we go land, smash, Sellsword can't block. Not quite sure what that's gonna do. So 5, 8, 10, so they die because they don't block? Alright. Cool with that. So that game, they definitely looked more aggressive than they did game 1. But I don't think any of my cuts really... They just look completely different that game, though. But then again, so do we. So now they're looking more aggro, but I don't like with the spot removal they have. I mean, I don't think Celebrant's going to be able to keep pace with a Fearless Fledgling. You basically just need to kill Fearless Fledgling. Or kill them with their own. I suppose that works too. Yeah, I think the build we have is fine. This hand's actually fine. Thankfully, the Fissure Wizard actually makes this more keepable. We can ditch a Plains and make this hand better. I don't really want to trade 3 damage for 2. Fine with that, that's fine. War Leader's a good draw, so now we can go Champion. Next turn go Outrider. Then hopefully find a 1 or a 2 drop and be able to go War Leader plus something. No attacks there is fine too. So we'll do the Outrider first. And for 5. That's good. Kindiox is actually fine too. So we can go War Leader here. Bash with both of our guys for 9. See if they want to make a trade. Alright, so that tells me they have a removal spell. I don't think they would have taken that if they didn't have removal for War Leader. Axe is good. So let's see how we want to do this, because we can do both. So Outrider will just buff by 1. I can do Outrider pumping War Leader and then stick a Relic Axe on it, and they have to double block to kill it, which they probably cannot afford to do. Or maybe they can. So we kill both their guys. They go to 2. We have 2 3/3s and a Relic Axe. It's pretty good. Seam Raptor. Bouncing a land. And an unkicked Gloom Hunter. That's kind of weird. So, I think we just go Relic Robber. Equip. And get in with 3/3/3s. Alright, we got there. We'll see you for round 2. Alright, we're in round 2. We're going to mull this one. 7-lander. This one's much better. And I think we're going to ditch... I suppose we ditch a land. This hand still can do a lot with the 2 mana that we have, which is good. I mean, I could have ditched the Journey, but it's nice to have a removal spell. Ah, the Shade, okay. Well, let's see. Shade can't block, so we'll get in for 1. Journey's actually a nice Skyclave Shade out, too. Guess we'll do Vanguard. Makes the most sense, can get us by a blocker. So they're gonna race us pretty successfully for now, but hoping to be able to pull ahead on that race eventually. I mean, I think we gotta go for it. We can't play aggro and hope to win by being defensive. Kind of wish we had an untapped white mana there. That would have been a really nice counterspell to Vanquish. Does make the Resolute Strike better. Alright, take 6. So now we can go Axe. Stick it on the Bug Catcher. And get in for 5. Currently not exactly a winnable race here. Alright, guess we got a 1. So we can play the champion. And we'll get in for 4. And pass. Alright, we'll go to game 2. And they look pretty aggressive too, don't they? Skyclave Shade, Protector's Cleric, I guess they're in Cleric colors, so I guess that makes sense. Removal, they showed us a Vanquish, and they're playing Pressure Point. Okay. Could do the Celebrant. Celebrant's a good counter to both the Protector and actually a nice counter to the Shade, too. What are the... I think if they're a Cleric deck, though... Although they're playing Dauntless Unity, too, which is kind of interesting. It's really hard to gauge a sideboard on a game like that, much like the first match, where it's like you have to mulligan and you don't really have that killer of a start. I mean, we actually had an okay start. They just had a better one. I kind of want to keep it the same. Like, if I bring in Celebrants and they turn out to be more of a stall-out Cleric deck, we're not going to win the game with that. And we have 2 Bindings and a Journey for their Shade. So we actually have probably the best outs you could possibly have for a Skyclave Shade. Yeah, I think we'll run it back. Like I said, it's hard to base sideboards based on like 3 or 4 cards you've seen out of your opponent's deck. You really got to see more than that. We'll play first. That's a keep. It's a good hand. So I suppose we can go... Even Blade Master is good against the Shade. I don't know what I want to play first. Probably Blade Master in case we rip a Relic Axe. Makes the most sense. Double Strike helps. Alright, so we'll go land, Vanguard, pass. Problem is this has Vigilance. Might need to actually block it because of that. Well, not now. So we'll go land, Sellsword, and we'll attack. I guess we'll make it so the Protector can't block. My opponent's like, oh, lucky me. That's cool. So... yeah, how do I want to do this? I think what we do is the Axe will go on the Vanguard. And we'll swing with these 2 and make it so the Protector can't block. And they can trade it with my Sellsword if they want. But it gets a Vigilant dude off the board. I suppose I can re-equip here then. So... oops, I actually showed them the land they hadn't seen. You can tell by the little eyeballs, so I should have played the plains, because now they know we don't have any spells that we drew. All right. So we'll play the land they already know we have. We'll put on a Relic Axe. And I guess we'll smash. So we'll go Legion Angel. Land. Equip. Equip. And pass. Oh, nice. So game 3, I mean, Expedition Healer is actually pretty good against us. Blood Beckoning's actually Blood Beckoning's not that good against us, believe it or not, because most of our removal is like they stay on the board where they're exiled, so that's kind of cool. But their trades are going to be better than ours because of that. But do we want to bring in more creatures is the only question. They have Deadly Alliance. We know that they have Vanquish the Weak. They've got Resolute Strike. Molten Blast does kill most of their guys, but Celebrant is actually looking pretty good. It's just not with the Blood Beckonings. We still need to win via aggro. I don't think we're going to win the long game. So I think we stick to what we've got here. I don't think we're going to win the long game when they've got 2 Blood Beckonings, because then it's like trades are just going to be ultimately worse for us if they... I mean, they're good. Trades are going to be good for us early, but they're not going to be good for us if the game goes late. All right, well, the good news is this hand is keepable. And what's more valuable to me, a Song-Mad Treachery or a Spikefield Hazard? Maybe the Hazard, because it kind of synergizes with the Blade Master. To be honest, I could very easily end up playing them both. But for now, I think we'll do the Treachery. So we get to do Blade Master first, I think. Just because Blade Master into a War Leader is a pretty big game. Plus it at least puts a stop to the Skyclave Shade. If they attack into Shade, I wonder if I take it. I'm not sure. Oh, well, I suppose I do now. So, I guess we go Hazard. And another Blade Master. This way, we can block the Shade. If we rip out, well, we can do War Leader next turn, which is pretty good. Sure. That attack doesn't make sense, and I like it. So we'll do the War Leader, and we can get in for 8 here. That seems pretty good. So now we can go Banneret plus Vanguard. Block here. All right, sweet. We'll see you for the finals. All right, so we'll play first. That's a nice keep. Sellsword into champion into potentially Sellsword Axe. That's a good. It's a good turn progression. Technically, we could go Axe Banneret next turn. It's a lot of damage. We could do that. But a little bit less sexy now. It's okay. Now we can go. I guess War Leader doesn't quite... Yeah, I guess we do War Leader pass. And then next turn I can go Banneret Axe or Champion Axe. Or Champion Banneret? I don't know. We'll see. I think it's actually Axe here. Oh, so they have something. Alright, it's good to know. We'll figure out what it is. I don't know what their plan is. Double block? Yeah, that's a pretty sweet trade for us. Still get a 2-for-1, have a 5-2. Trap Finder's gotta like chump block now. Guess no, I could have re-equipped, but I don't actually think that's better, so this is fine. So now we can just go Bug Catcher, Sellsword. And then if we draw a land, we can threaten Banneret Pumps. But I don't even know if that's better. I think what we do is just champion, stick the Axe on the Bug Catcher, and get in for 4 here. And if they take it next turn with our Banneret, yeah, that's fine. Oh man, we would have ripped two more pretty deadly things there. So we can equip. Well, no, this is fine. So we'll get in for 6. Pass. Although I maybe wanted to play the land there because. Oh yeah. Well, double strike's cool. Alright, sweet. So we're playing against Rogue. rogue deck here. They've got Glacial Grasp. They run a random Dreadworm, random Royal Mage, but they didn't show us any removal. Is that right? That's cool. What's going to be good against a rogue deck with random other stuff in it? I don't know. If I saw some Bubble Snares, maybe Disenchant. If I saw more fatties, I'd think Smite, but we just saw the one. We don't have that much sideboard. Like, we can blow up artifacts. We can deal with artifacts and enchantments. We can blow up fatties. We actually have a pretty good sideboard, but none of it is looking particularly appealing against what we just played against. So I think we'll... They also could be more of a party deck now that I think about it. They're not necessarily rogues, because this is better in party, and this is definitely better in party. They're in rogue colors, though, but they have Royal Mage. Dreadworm is just random card maybe they had to fill with. I'm not sure, but I think we're fine the way we are. They could be a party deck. I just have to be aware of that. So we can keep this hand, actually. It's fine. It's a little bit slow, but the fact that we have the War Leader and Angel champion, like, we've got 3 really good warriors. We have a removal for big threats we can't deal with. Right now, we go probably War Leader into Angel, I'm assuming. Which is fine. We can discard a Plains. I'm alright with that. We stick to the same plan here. They have 2 cards left. Maybe I have Binding, actually. Especially if their best play is just re-equip. Yeah. That's cool. So now we can just bust out an Angel. Definitely seeming like a party deck. I will say that. Here we can actually go champion. Because then if I draw a land, I can go War Leader Axe. Plus, this kind of makes it a better target anyway. Now we'll just do the War Leader. Sure. Guess that's one way to do it. Let's see here. So they're at 14 now. I guess we just bash with everything. So if they have a way to mill us for 3, the Relic Golem can attack. I think we just play 2 creatures then. Alright, sweet. So we ended up taking the draft. Our deck was amazing. I mean, we knew it was a great Warriors deck, but we still had some pretty close calls against decks that I thought were not as good as what we had. But we ended up getting there, so happy about that. Hope you enjoyed it. we'll see you for the next one.